I've said it before. Rafinha, who is in Barcelona, and Moses Simon. The only difference between those two players, now opportunity. Now opportunity. On Sunday, December the 8th of 2024, EaglesTracker followed 106 matches that could potentially feature Nigerian players from 63 different leagues around the world. My name is AyoT. This is EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football, and you are watching the Lowdown. Let me tell you everything that happened on this wonderful match day of football. Okay, for today's Lowdown, we'll take it from the top. Start from the big leagues, and of course, we'll go to the lower leagues and try to just cover as many Nigerian players as possible that were in action on Sunday, December the 8th. Starting in England, we had Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi, the Super Eagles duo, were in action for Fulham as they held Arsenal to a 1-1 draw in the English Premier League. Yes, I called it. I said it on yesterday's Lowdown that I believe that Fulham would hold Arsenal to a draw, and that is exactly what happened. You cannot want to just win the league with corner. Play football. When Arsenal thought they finally scored a goal that was from open play, it was ruled out for offside. And I'm happy to see Arsenal drop points, and hopefully they can even drop more points. I don't mind Liverpool winning the league. I don't mind Chelsea winning the league. I don't mind Man City winning the league, but not Arsenal, and especially not playing the style of play that they are currently using to win games. So shout out to Fulham, shout out to Alex Iwobi, shout out to Calvin Bassey, and hopefully they can get a win in the next one. Still in the English Premier League, we had Wilfred Ndidi in action for Leicester City, and unfortunately for our man, he picked up an injury and had to be subbed off in the game. He was able to go out, under his own strength. So I'm really hoping that it's nothing serious. But nevertheless, it is a tough sight to see a player go out with an injury. So prayers up for Wilfred Ndidi, and I hope that you come back sooner rather than later. In the EFL Championship, we had Josh Maja with an assist for West Bromwich Albion in their 2-2 draw against Sheffield United. Josh Maja, of course, has been in good form so far this season, and even though he wasn't able to score, at least he got an assist to help his side in that game. And then in the Women's Super League, Tony Payne came off the bench as a sub for Everton as they fell to a 2-1 defeat against Tottenham Hotspur. Okay, moving to Spain, we had a number of Nigerian players in action in Spain. I'll start from the Spanish La Liga. Kelechi Iheanacho came on as a 90th minute substitute for Sevilla as they fell to a 4-3 entertaining defeat against Atletico de Madrid. We also had in the Segunda Division, Kenneth Mama playing 90 minutes for CD Castellon in their goalless draw against Albacete. And then if we switch over to the women, in the Liga F, we had a derby of sorts with Rizla Bajide and Gift Monday teaming up for UD Tenerife in their 2-2 draw against Rashidat Ajibade's Atletico de Madrid. And Rizla Bajide was able to open the scoring in that game. So, shout out to Rizla Bajide, and tie game. I predicted Ajibade to score in that one, but unfortunately, she did not start the match. So, that is my excuse for getting it wrong. Moving over to Italy, we had Fisayo Dele Bashiru, a fine midfield performance for Lazio in their 1-0 victory over SSC Napoli. Fisayo Dele Bashiru had a disciplined performance, knowing the spaces to occupy, always being in the right spot at the right time, and he nearly got a goal of his own. It would have been a fantastic goal. A shot from about 25-30 yards out that struck the crossbar. It would have been nice to see him score, but I'm sure that now that he's been able to show this kind of performance in a start in the league, the coach will be willing to give him even more opportunities, especially in big games, because this was a big game against Napoli. Okay, and then in the Serie B, we had Ebenezer Akinsomi. It was a poor performance by him when he played for Sampdoria in their 5-1 defeat against Sassuolo. He's seen better days, and I'm sure he will see many better days in the future as well. In Germany, we had Kevin Akpoguma coming off the bench for TSG Hoffenheim in their 1-1 draw against Freiburg. If we go over to France, Akko Adams came off the bench for Montpellier in their 2-0 defeat against RC Lens in the French League 1. Hamza Tadjediran was an unused substitute for RC Lens in that game. And then, still in the French League 1, Moses Simon. Wow. Moses Simon scored a stunning goal, dribbling past 4 players and then curling it into the top right corner from the edge of the box. Fantastic goal. If you haven't seen it, you need to look for the highlights. Simon, every once in a while, just shows us this supreme quality that he has. He's such a talented player, can dribble like no man's business. And when he can strike the ball like that, man, what a player he can be. I've said it before. Rafinha, who is in Barcelona, and Moses Simon. The only difference between those two players, now opportunity. Now opportunity. Moses Simon is such a talented player. Trust me. Fantastic goal. Go check out the video if you haven't seen it already. Okay, and now let's go over to some of the lower leagues to see how the Nigerian players performed across those countries. I'll start from Albania, where Adetola Lawal was on target in Valbona's 3-4 defeat against Vora. 3-4 defeat against Vora. And still in the first division, we also had Ememe in action as Flametari ran out 2-0 victors over Kukesi. 2-0 victors over Kukesi. That was Evo Christ, Ememe, in action. He scored a penalty in that game, actually. Moving over to Algeria, Wale Ali featured for USM Alger in their CAF Confederations Cup goalless draw against Jaraf. In Angola, we had Edmond come off the bench in Bravos Domacchio's 3-2 victory over CS Faxien. Over in Australia, Super Falcons, long-lost Super Falcons defender Onyechi Zog was in action for Perth Glory as they fell to a 1-0 defeat against Melbourne Victory. It wasn't her best game. She gave away a penalty in that game. That wasn't the goal they scored, though. They missed the penalty that she gave away, but it wasn't her best performance in general. Over in Bolivia, yes, I know you'll be wondering, what Nigerian player in Bolivia? Yes, we have players all around the world. Bismarck Uba was in action for Royal Paris in their 1-0 defeat against Real Tomoyapo. Yes. Over in the Czech Republic, lots of players were in action in the Czech Republic. We had Mavis Ogomiade, we had Ubong Ekpai, we had Quadri Adediran, and Solomon John, all in action in the same game as Mlada Boleslav thrashed České Budějovice 4-0. Solomon John was able to get an assist for Mlada Boleslav in that game, whereas the other three players were on the side of the losing team, České Budějovice. We also had David Moses, Emmanuel AyoT, and Lucky Eze all in action in Carvina's 1-2 defeat against Vitoria Pilsen. All three players for MFK Carvina. In that one, we had Igor Ogbu also featuring with Yunusa Muitala coming off the bench in Sigma Olomouc's 1-2 defeat against Slavia Prague. Dele Israel was an unused substitute in that game. We had Abubakar Gali scoring one and getting an assist in Slovan Liberec's 3-0 victory over FK Teplice. And then we had Uchenna Arerism and Abdullahi Tanko both in action for Banik Ostrava in their 1-0 victory over Hradec Kralov. Over in Georgia, if we move over to Georgia, in Georgia, congratulations to Benjamin Taidi, who scored a goal in Iberia's 1-1 draw. Iberia's 1-1 draw against Sam Gurali. That goal, of course, got them the draw in the game, and the result of the match was that they were crowned champions of the Georgian Eruvnuli Liga. So shout out to Benjamin Taidi, congratulations on that trophy, and hopefully more to come in the future. Going over quickly to Indonesia. Alaji Gero was in action for Barito Putera in their 0-3 defeat against Biak Nomfor. In Israel, Idoko scored a goal for Hapoel Jerusalem in their 1-0 victory over Benai Shakin. Ransom Jidechuku was also in action for Hapoel Jerusalem in that game. If I go over to Portugal now, Bruno Onyemaechi put in a fine performance for Boavista in their 1-1 draw against Farense, playing from the left-hand side of midfield. He contributed to both the defense and the attack. An all-round solid performance from him. So congratulations to Bruno Onyemaechi on that one. We also had Friday A-Team on target for CD Mafra in their 2-3 defeat against Maritimo. Stanley Ehenacho also played that game for Mafra. Junior Pius was on target for GD Chavez in their 2-1 second division victory over FC Porto B. And then Prosper Oba was on target in Vizela's 1-1 draw against Tondela. That was the action over there in Portugal. I will jump right now to Slovakia, where we had Ima Uchegbu on target for AS Trenchin in their 3-3 draw against DAC 1904. Jude Sunday also played in that game for AS Trenchin. Whereas on the side of Dak 1904, there's another Nigerian called Fortune Bassi who scored 2 goals for Dak in that game. 2 goals for Fortune Bassi, a good performance from him. Over in South Africa, Ibrahim Jabbar featured for Stellenbosch in their CAF Confederations Cup 1-3 defeat against RSB Berkane. In Switzerland, Ifeanyi Matthew came off the bench for FC Zurich in their 3-0 Super League defeat against Lausanne Sports. And then wrapping up, I'll move over to Turkey. In Turkey, we had Emeka Eze with 2 goals and assists, man of the match performance for Pendikspor in their 3-0 second division victory over Sakaryaspor. We also had Ogeneka Peter Etebo in action for Genklebeligi in their 1-0 victory over Fatih Karagümrük. It was a good performance over there by Pamukkalewu featured for Boluspor. They fell to a 2-3 defeat against Ankara Gucu. Michael Oglogo came off the bench for Istanbulspor. That one was a 2-1 defeat for them against Ankara Gucu. Funsho Bangboye featured for Hatayspor as they fell to a 3-0 defeat against Istanbul Başakşehir. Antonio Zodima was an unused sub for Kayserispor in their 2-0 victory over Alanyaspor. And then Starboy Victor James Osimhen scored a penalty that he won himself, a fantastic penalty into the top right corner in Galatasaray's hard-earned 2-3 Turkish Super League victory over Sivasspor. Galatasaray got a red card early in that game. They conceded the first goal of the match and they had to fight back to get this result. Osimhen's penalty was top-notch, and I'm emphasizing the quality of the penalty because if you watch Osimhen take penalties at Napoli, you'll know how poor his penalties were to the point that Napoli just didn't allow him take penalties when he had the likes of Mertens, that were specialists at it over there. And now he's in Galatasaray. They let him take this penalty that he won, and he sorted it away very, very, very well. So I'm hoping and believing that he can keep on taking penalties and keep on converting them at a high clip. I know that about a week or 2 ago, I saw a video of him taking free kicks in training. If Osimhen can add set pieces to his game, as in he can start scoring free kicks, think of a striker like Harry Kane. Complete striker, can do everything. If Osimhen can start scoring free kicks, taking set pieces, that's the kind of striker that he's getting into. The real world-class strikers, because nobody can doubt how world-class Harry Kane has been for a number of years. So I'm looking forward to seeing the continuous evolution of Victor Osimhen. Of course, that was his 10th goal of the season. He has 3 more games in 2024. I had set a goal of 20 goals for Victor Osimhen before the end of 2024 after he joined Galatasaray, just because I feel like playing in Turkey, he should be firing at a high clip. I don't think he's going to score 10 more goals in the next 3 matches. So he's probably not going to hit my 20 goals before the end of the year. But I set a 30 goals before the end of the season. So that one is still within sight. I think he can very well score 20 goals in all competitions before the end of the season. But shout out to Victor Osimhen. And that is the Lowdown. Who impressed you the most? Who disappointed you? Let me know in the comments below. Looking forward to the week. What are some games to watch? The Champions League is back this week. So on Tuesday and on Wednesday, we're going to have a number of Nigerian players in action. But before I jump to Tuesday, I will just say for Monday's action, Monza going up against Udinese. Unfortunately, Maduka Okoye is injured, so he's not going to feature in that one. But Kingsley Ehizibwe could be in action for Udinese, so you could check that game out tomorrow. Getafe against Espanyol in La Liga, but I believe that Crisantos Uche is still hurt and is not going to take part in that game. So we're mostly looking forward to the midweek fixtures with the Champions League and the Conference League, but specifically looking at the Champions League for this week. On Tuesday, we have Bayer Leverkusen going up against Inter. Of course, Boniface is injured, but Nathan Tella will probably be in action in that one. And then we have Club Brugge going up against Sporting in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, Club Brugge have Rafael Onyedika in their books, and it will be an interesting game for sure against Sporting. Sporting have not been in the best of form since they let their manager go to Manchester United. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do in that one. And then, of course, on Wednesday, we have Atletico de Madrid against Slovan Bratislava. Slovan Bratislava, Elvis Isaac is a Nigerian player on that team. In the Women's Champions League, we have Galatasaray going up against Olympic Lyon. Of course, Galatasaray have Tosin Dimei and Flourish Sebastian. That's going to be a very tough game for them. I think they're going to get absolutely smashed like 4-5-0 in that one. But it's going to be a good experience for them for sure. We're also going to have in the Women's League Cup in England, Liverpool against Everton. So Tony Payne might be in action for Everton. That one is on Wednesday. And then switching back to the UEFA Champions League, we have AC Milan against Red Star Belgrade. That is Samuel Chukwueze versus Peter Olayinka. We have George Lenikena's AS Monaco going over to London to take on Arsenal. So that's going to be an interesting game in the UEFA Champions League. And then, of course, we have Victor Olatunji's Sparta Praha going to the Netherlands to face Feyenoord, also in the UEFA Champions League. So that is what you have to look forward to. I'll do another lowdown after the UEFA Champions League. And, of course, we'll look forward to the Conference League. We'll look forward to the Europa League. And then, of course, we'll do this as the football continues. Whether the club sides, whether the national teams, we'll keep giving you the updates. Make sure you stay tuned to EaglesTracker of Nigerian football. If you haven't liked the video, please like it already. Like it right now. If you haven't liked it, like it right now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? It just doesn't really make sense for you. I mean, think about it. You're going to watch more videos. You're going to want to watch more videos, and then you wouldn't be able to find us again. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button right now. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. My name is AyoT. Bye-bye, guys.